On July 15, 2011, Marcus Smith called Warner Robins Police Department reporting that his brother, 30-year-old aircraft mechanic Brian Smith, had been killed. Police raced to the Georgia home Brian shared with his wife Ebony Passion Smith and their children. There, officers found Brian's body in the hallway bathroom. He had multiple gunshot wounds, including his chest and abdomen. When police continued through the house, they found Ebony in a back bedroom along with a recently fired gun. She had taken medication and required medical assistance. Once Ebony receives treatment and is cleared to speak with them, investigators bring her down to the station for questioning.
Okay, got an officer going down to get you some lunch. Okay. I'm going to take those handcuffs off. That's the jail. I don't have any control over that. Let me see your hand. You right-handed or left-handed? Left-handed. All right. All right, I thought we'd sit and talk for minutes, whatever. He should be back. He's just ran right down the street, so it shouldn't be too long. Okay. Do you understand why you're here, hon? Okay. Do you understand that you're under arrest right now and you're not free to leave? It's my understanding that in the brief time that we talked, you had mentioned something about abuse. And I told you don't say anything right now because we want to make sure everything was legal. We didn't want to do anything to mess you up. Make sense? And so that's what I'd like to do now is before I can do that, I have to go through your rights because that's just the way it works. Because since you're here, and obviously you're wearing handcuffs, so you're not really free to leave. All right, but what that means is that honestly you've been arrested, but it doesn't mean that you're guilty. It just means that this is the steps that we're taking. Does that make sense? Because nobody's convicted you of anything, right? You haven't even been to court. So that's what's going on. But like I said, there's more to the whole story than just what we see on the surface, right? So I need to get to that, and before I get to that, I need to be able to ask questions. Does that make sense? And get your side of the story. Because when you're in a hospital, you weren't well, and I wasn't able to talk to you. Make sense? Okay, so I'm going to read this to you. This is just basic information on top, and we'll do it together. And so, you understand exactly what's going on. And if I remember correctly, it's Ebony Passion Smith, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't like it?
No, I hate it.
There's another lady that's got this. There's a lady at court that's got the same little name.
I hate you.
And you got through high school, college?
I graduated from high school and then I was going to college.
Okay. We're at police department. I spoke with your aunt a couple of times. What's your birthday again? Okay. I'm going to explain this to you again. It's going to sound kind of ominous, but I'll explain everything to you so you understand, okay? What it says is that you have the right.
Police read Ebony Smith her Miranda rights.
Anything you say can't be used against you. That makes sense? So, in other words, this is your interview. You say what you want to say. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And maybe I can fill in some of the holes and things like that. Now, what's important is that no one knows what I've explained to you. Do you want to talk to me without an attorney present?
I really don't have nothing to learn.
Cool.
Now.
I need a yes or no. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right, bro. I want you to do a sign right there for me. I know it sounds kind of simplistic, but it's all for you, I promise. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign right here because I'm the one that read the piece of paper to you. Okay. All right, so we'll go real slow and we'll go from there. All I want you to do is what you can remember, just kind of tell me what happened. And then you mentioned that there was some abuse before, and we didn't really want to get into that at the hospital, so I thought maybe we could talk about it today. Because what I do is I go back and I investigate all the facts. Does that make sense? I go back and look at everything you tell me, and I compare it to what I know just from looking around and the other people that I've talked to. And if there's inconsistencies there, well, then maybe there's something different that I'm not seeing. Does that make sense? So that's what we want to do. I can't in good conscience just say, okay, well, I arrest her and not say anything to you. You see what I'm saying? Because there's always two sides of every story. And if your side doesn't get out, you understand, then I don't know. And then once it goes to court, it's a little late then. So what I want to do is make sure that if I'm going to arrest you, and I'm going to try to take you to court, then I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. Because if you're innocent, or if you've done something that's justifiable, then I need to know that so that I can tell that to the district attorney and they can make the decision how they want to proceed. Does that make sense? But at the time all this happened, there was a lot of things going on and we weren't able to get a statement from you. Does that make sense? So nobody's against you. I'm not for or against anybody. I'm just here to get the facts, to get the truth, to get what's going on so I can lay it out. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So kind of tell me how we ended up here today. Take your time.
Back in November, October, you know, I found out he was cheating on me.
Right.
And I just stopped eating. And I distanced myself from my family. And I started neglecting the kids and stuff. So I went to him and I told him, I said, Brian, I need some help. I need to go see the doctor because I knew about depression because I've already had it before. And I wanted him to take me to the doctor because I don't drive.
Right.
So I'm talking to him, telling him what's going on here. Like, cause me and him have the same doctor. And he was like, well, when I make an appointment for me, they're gonna make an appointment for you, so we'll go together.
Sure.
So I said, okay. But every time the appointments came up, he claimed that either he don't win or he's not going, he's going later. I'm trying to figure out, like, why in the world you keep telling me that, you know, you're going to take me to the appointments and let night, but then when the appointments come, all of a sudden, you don't already went to your appointment or you're not going.
Right.
And it never made any sense to me. That's how it was. And it just got to the point, you know, I felt like he really didn't even care about my feelings anymore. So I got to the point I was like, you know, this man who was supposed to be my best friend from high school, we met in the 12th grade, he was supposed to be my best friend, and he treated me like I'm nothing. And it got to the point where I thought I wasn't. I really thought that I was nothing. Because I had a stroke at the age of 23.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, talk to your dad, I think. Or was your aunt once he told me that you had a stroke.
Before I had pre-shot, I had 5 kids. And I was like, well, I'm lucky enough to get a man that wants me when I have 5 kids.
Sure.
So that's what I was saying. He treated me so bad. No matter what I did, nothing. No matter what I tried to do, nothing worked. He always complained. He always complained about me putting on clothes. Like, you dressed up, but you're not going anywhere. You just sit around the house. I'm trying to make myself feel better about me. And he constantly puts me down every day. Every day. The physical abuse wasn't every day, but it was there. But that mental abuse, him just, he just talked to me like I was nothing. In front of my kids, no matter what I did. So, you know, he complained about me always being home. So I said, you know what, since I can't find a job, I put in job application, couldn't find a job. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go back to school.
Right.
You know, maybe I go back to school and show him that I'm trying to do something with myself. Maybe he'll lighten up on me. So I go back to school. And then he tells me that I can't take you back and forth to school. I started going to church and whatnot and talking to people. And, I was like, I said, if the devil trying to mess with me, trying to steal my joy, I'm trying to get myself together. And even though he don't want to take me to school, I'm still going to try to go. So I found this service named True Light Transportation. And they, take people back and forth to school and whatnot. So I'm like, okay, I can deal with all that right there. But it didn't cost that much.
Sure.
I didn't even tell him that I found my way back and forth to school because he called me and asked me that I needed a way back home. I told him, no, I'm fine. I got me a way. And, okay, after that right there, he complained about, he said I was always staying home all the time. I wasn't doing nothing.
Right.
So, on weekends, a friend of mine that I used to go, I used to work with when I was a CNA. She don't live that far from us.
Come on in.
You got a wall?
Yeah, I gotta. Yeah, I'll just be a second.
Okay, I got a phone now.
Yeah, I gotta get that. I'm gonna go ahead and let you eat, and take you to the gym in the lobby. And I'll be right back to you.
Thank you.
I'll take care of it though. Don't worry about the mess. I'll come back and get it. I'll use you. Do you need both hands or? They put all that stuff on them. Crazy. What? I feel. I'm tired. Let me see if I can get enough key. This one. I'll use mine now. Something. I'll get right back with you now. Get all this stuff out your way. Alright, so we'll finish. We had talked about we started some school and you were found right school. What school was it? What's your favorite one? Millville Tech. I remember, I think your aunt had mentioned it to me and I can't remember. But you found me right there.
Like I said, every time, no matter what I did, he complained. He put me down every day about something. Nothing was ever right. So he complained about me being home all the time. But I went to school every day. And on the weekend, I didn't have nothing to do, so I found a friend of mine that was on Facebook. And me and her started talking on Facebook, and I got her number, and I started calling her, telling her about my problems and whatnot, which my family knew because it came to me and they were saying that I was losing a lot of weight and I wasn't acting the same, and it was like something's wrong with it. And they kept trying to get me to go and tell them was he hitting on me. I don't want nobody to know that. And the sad thing about it is the kids, they've seen it. They've seen what has happened and whatnot, and that hurts me so bad.
When you say that he would say things, what would he say?
I always put me down. Well, if you gotta dress up to make yourself feel good, there's something wrong with you. But it was huge stay all kind of stuff, just putting me down. Okay, if I didn't want to cook one day, I'm lazy. I'm sorry. I ain't nothing. It got to the point I was like, well, why am I cooking anyway? Because I already had asked the kids, I said, what y'all want me to do? If they tell me they don't want me to cook, they'll eat some noodles or hot dogs or hot pockets or something like that. I wouldn't cook because I felt like this. You're out here cheating on me. You're out here doing me wrong. Why don't you over there at her house eat?
When did you find out that he was having some extra activity?
He had broke his phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what made me do it, but something just said go through his old phone.
Mm-hmm.
Through his old phone, and he sitting up there talking about how much he loved this other girl and all kind of stuff on the phone.
Okay. Do you remember who the girl was?
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
But Tracy.
Do you know her last name by any chance?
Her kids are my second cousin. She was married to my first cousin.
Okay.
And it wasn't her.
How do they know one another?
They worked together on the base. It wasn't only her.
There's more.
It was another girl named Latone.
How does he know her?
I want to say he may have met her at a bar or something because he shot pool.
Right. I knew that. Something about it's out quite a bit playing pool.
He was out quite a bit, all right, but he wasn't playing pool all the time.
And this was going on for about a year, you said?
Probably more longer than that.
No, I looked through island records and I couldn't find any kind of police reports or anything. Did you remember ever calling the police or the police ever coming out before him? Okay. Did you talk to anybody? Is there somebody I could be able to talk to that you maybe talked with and told them about the things that were going on? That saw maybe some of the bruising or saw some of the effects of the...
The only people that saw anything were the kids.
That was it? Okay. But no friends or anything like that?
No, because if, he hit me or whatnot, and my face was sore or whatnot, because I even have a bruise right there where he hit me so hard.
Do you remember when that was?
First time Brian hit me was December the 27th, 2007.
Okay.
The next time he hit me was March the 16th, 2008.
Is there a reason why you remember the date so specifically? I understand that's a traumatic event.
Because that was the first time he hit me and the second time he hit me.
Where did he hit you at?
In the face.
Both times?
Yes.
Were y'all arguing over something?
Not really. And that next day, me and him had got into it about my brother because I wanted him to go pick my brother up from the airport. And we went to pick my brother up and he was complaining about this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
So he had called himself, got our daughter and packed her little clothes and whatnot, saying he was going to leave the house for the day. And I guess go somewhere, I don't know. So I grabbed my daughter's foot, not foot, around her ankle.
Sure.
I told him and said, well, and I was telling myself, well, you can go, but don't take her anywhere because my family was coming over to the house that day. So.
And you people from Macon County?
Well, we are from Macon County, but my brother, he is stationed in Texas. And my brother was in the house. He was home too. He's stationed in Colorado.
Okay.
And I had another cousin stationed in Texas. He was home.
Okay.
And my sister, they lived in America, she was coming up too. Now, a lot of my cousins and family was coming up that day. So he trying to walk out the house with her, but we had the front door open. And he headbutted me real hard in front of the kids.
Was this the 27th or the 16th?
The day after, the 15th.
Okay.
And he had sat up there. He headbutted me real hard, and kids were standing right there, and they told him, said, don't you get no more, Keenan. So
how old are your kids?
Lexi is Alexis is 12. She's gonna be 13 in a month. I'm the only one. There was Risha, she's the baby.
Right.
But she is the baby. And he's 11, gonna be 12.
Okay. What's his name?
Samante. SEMONTA. And he told my daughter, he said he'd throw her over the balcony.
Which partner?
The balcony on the porch.
And that was back in 2008. Did anything happen after that? Did you remember any other incidents?
Yeah. There was one more incidents. Kids seen. They were like, in my son's room.
Mm-hmm.
My son's room was like right here. And our room is right across the way, And they were sitting in there and they saw when he hit me.
Altogether, how many times do you think there was violence in the home? Not just emotional, I'm talking about when physically become physical.
About 7 times.
Did you ever talk to anyone? You said you talked a little bit about your friends, two of your friends, but you didn't kind of avoid the subject. Did you talk to a doctor or anybody? A psychologist or anybody about the phone? Did you ever hire a private investigator to follow them or anything?
I was going to do that, but then when they told me the prices.
Right. It can be quite expensive. And you said that you haven't called the police or anything. Was there any reason why maybe you didn't call the police? You think maybe you could just kind of deal with it at home and hope things got better? Or?
Yeah, I didn't want nobody to know. Because I'm a private person. My family can tell you. I don't like to.
And like I said, nobody's going to hold that against you. Did y'all ever talk about getting divorced? I mean, if you're not getting along, it seems like a kind of a logical road to go down.
Yeah.
Did y'all ever
I always
discuss
talk
that?
about divorce. Every time I talk about divorce, he'll bring the kids up in. Why would I want to take the kids out of this school system that is so good and take them back down and make them kind of in their school system? Their school system's like 10 years behind ours. And and why would you want to hurt the kid? Why would you? It was always about the kids, and he knew I would,
Did y'all ever see any attorneys?
I did. And I think he did too.
What was your attorney's name? Did you talk to? Do you remember?
Clarence Williams, right off of Green Street.
Okay. I know Clarence very much. Did you ever retain him for any reason, or did you just maybe get some advice? Or?
Yeah, I went there and I talked to him about getting a divorce. He was saying I need to make sure it's the best thing for me and my kids before I just sit up and get a divorce. And I went home after I talked to Mr. Clarence and I told him about it.
Right.
And I told him, I said, I'm looking at a divorce lawyer.
Right.
You sat there and just brushed it off like it was nothing.
Okay. Well, let's kind of fast forward just a bit to the 15th of July. Do you remember that day? And I know this is kind of a difficult thing to talk about, so I'm going to take you kind of tell me from what happened that day, when you got up that morning.
That morning, I got up. My son had went to the Boys and Girls Club. He go every day. And me, Brian, and our daughter was in our bed laying down. And my son, he left. And then I just went on, I said, "Go on, get up." I got up and I got up. There was a man knocking at the door. He said, "Do you know that y'all finna get a divorce?" What he said, "Do you know?" He said, "What's your name?" And I told him I was Ebony. And he said, "Well, I got a little bit bad news for you." Okay, And he showed me the papers and whatnot. That didn't even faze me at all. I wasn't even worried about that.
Sure.
But
And what was the papers?
Divorce papers.
Divorce papers. Do you remember about what time that was? It's roundabout. I know it's been a few months.
I don't know, maybe 12.
Do you remember, was the person wearing a uniform or was he dressed in regular clothes?
He was from the sheriff department.
Okay.
And he had on like the shirt that had sheriff department on it.
Was it like a pullover shirt or a polo, or was it a polo shirt? And he gave you the paper?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I went back in the house and I showed Brian the papers. And I just looked down, like, all right. But then I started reading the papers.
Mm-hmm.
And when you said he wants sole custody of our daughter, I told him, I said, you're not taking my daughter away from me. He said, yes, I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you are. And I'm the one that watches her. I'm the one that has her all the time. Anywhere I go, she's with me. And you always know.
Mm-hmm.
You won't sit up here and say you're going to take my daughter away from me. So he went back to the room, just talking, whatever. And so I went behind him and I did like this to him. I said, you're not taking my daughter away from me. He was like, well, get your finger out of my face. So I put my hand down and I told him, I said, you're not taking my daughter away from me. And I kept saying it. And then he just hauled off and he hit me.
Where did he hit you?
Mm-hmm.
On the right side?
Mm-hmm. Hit me right there.
Okay.
And my daughter, she walked in the room. You know, she don't know what's going on. So
The baby or the 12-year-old?
The baby. So he was talking about I gotta listen to him. He said, what he said? I've listened to you, now you gotta listen to me or something. Mm-hmm. And I told him to get out my way, and I was going back up to the front room. And so I told him, I said, Brian, would you please move, because I'm going to the front room. And he hauled off and he pushed me, and I fell backwards.
Okay. What else?
And after that, it got pretty shit. It was like, well, I'm give you some time to cool off, and I'm gonna take her, and he said we were gonna go out for a little while. So I said, okay, whatever. Then I just did more of this. Look at me in my little white blanket. He's taking everything away from me. He's taking my daughter. Ain't much I can do about that. I said, you know what, your blanket. So I got it. Because he had a whole lot of medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And I started taking his all of that. But not all of it, most of it. And I'm like, you know what? I got his gun. I said, you know what, maybe if it won't bother me as much when I shoot myself.
Sure.
It won't bother me as much. So, he gone probably about 10, 15 minutes. And he scared me because he walked in the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the gun, I shot it in the floor.
Okay.
And I got up off the floor and I went into our bathroom. I just sat there. And I didn't hear a brush of footsteps. So, I'm thinking to myself, because he came in the room, he walked back out, and he went into the kids' bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting on the pillow, like, where in the world my daughter is? He said, we going out, but only he came home.
Mm-hmm.
So I got up, went into the kids' bathroom, asked him. I said, where's my daughter? He looked at me, real mean like. He said, I dropped her off. So where did you drop her off? Kept saying it over and over again. Where did you drop her off? He was just looking at me. Won't say that. Like, where did you drop her off?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say that. And I'm like, you know what? And then one who I shot him. I shot him. And I was already hyped up on those pills, feeling real loose, like I was about gone. And I shot him. Went back into the room, started taking more pills, more pills, more pills. And I threw up. I remember throwing up. I remember after I threw up, I took some more pills. And I had so much in my body. I don't even see how I made it.
Well, they worked on it. They worked on you a long time. The hospital. To look out, but I didn't think he's going to. And he did. And that's good. You know, when I came in that second or third day, I remember you were up and your eyes were clear. You know, I mean, that's a miracle. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that you did. Do you remember where you got the gun from? Because he had several guns. We found 2 other guns, if I'm not mistaken. Do you remember where the gun you got from?
The gun that he had in there was in his drawer, his top drawer. One side of the drawer was mine, one side of the feet.
And that was your bedroom? Did you think that you would shoot him, or was it kind of a spontaneous thing, kind of like, well, he's home now? I mean, I understand you told me that you were thinking about maybe hurting yourself. And that's understandable. You know, what's hard? You know, and it's very hard, it's difficult. And, you know, there's good and there's bad, but a lot of times, the majority of it's bad. And I'm not here to judge it, and that's not involved. But you went and got the gun, and you mentioned something about thinking about hurting yourself. When you came home, you said that you shot him to the floor. Do you remember where that was at?
Up there by my house.
Were you in your bedroom? Was he in the bedroom too?
He had just walked in the house.
Did he say anything when he heard the gun go off?
He didn't say nothing.
Ebony, what are you doing? You want to talk this out, anything else?
He didn't say nothing.
And so he heard the gunshot, and then you heard the
Gunshot.
and you were you in the hallway when you shot him, or were you in the bathroom? He was in the bathroom. Were you in the hallway?
I was in the doorway. The hallway.
Do you remember how many times you shot, or you just pulled the trigger?
I just pulled the trigger.
You just kept pulling it?
Kept pulling. Yeah.
Did you think about maybe calling 911 at that point?
At that point, I just left out of there. I went back, just following people.
Right.
That's all I think about, you know.
Well, while he was gone, did you ever think about shooting him, or was it an issue of, well, he's here now, he's not taking my child? Was it a spontaneous
It
thing?
was just the fact that he just wouldn't respond to me. It was just spontaneous.
So you didn't have any plans to shoot him when he came back?
Okay.
I understand. So you feel like that maybe that it was because of all that had happened since back in 2007 up until that particular day kind of maybe pushed you over the edge, or didn't have anywhere else to turn?
I just didn't care anymore.
I understand.
So he was taking the child away from me. Yeah.
Well, you know, I can understand how that would seem at the time. But, you know, that's not necessarily true. But I understand at the time.
Yes, it was.
Very, very traumatic.
He tried to bring up what happened to me in my past with B-Fats and my other kids. He was like, well, the way what happened with my other kids, he was like, he could use that against me to take my baby away.
Well, I'll tell you what I know, which is pretty much what you told me. What I was able to figure out in talking to folks was I talked to his mother. She had talked to him right after the divorce papers came. and he had told her that you got involved with him and he was hitting you. Now, I don't know, I wasn't there. Do you understand?
Hitting him.
That's just what I'm telling you. And that she told him to leave the house. And he goes on to the base, takes Priya, goes on to the base, has a meeting with somebody on the base at his job, drops the child off at somebody to watch the child and was going to come back and get some things from the house to go stay with his mother-in-law. But that was the information that I got. That was around 3:30. When his mother didn't hear from him, she got concerned. And that's when she sent his brother over to the house. And I don't know if you remember this or not, but the brother came in and found Brian and then found you and then ran back out and called 911 because he didn't know what had happened. And that's when the paramedics and the police showed up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. If there's anybody that you can think of that I can talk to about what happened before the shooting, and I'll be happy to talk to them. I'll get as much information as I can, and I will give all that to the district attorney so they decide what to do. But right now, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yeah.
You've been charged with murder. Okay. Now, with that said, if there's something that somebody I need to talk to that can maybe shed some light on it, other than being from one side, that can maybe show some justification for what happened that day, I'll do it. I just need to know where to go because I can't find anybody. You understand? I came to the hospital, and I don't know if you remember or not. You were getting better. But we came up. I took some photographs of your face to see if any bruising came up. I took pictures of your hands. I clipped your fingernails to see if there was skin underneath, like you had to fight with them or something. Anything I could get to show that there was a self-defense situation. Do you follow what I'm saying? I couldn't find anything. That doesn't mean that that's not the case. Do you understand?
Only thing I do remember when I was in the hospital was the man that came in with me, police officer that came in. One of the nurses said something to him, but yeah, she got a big bruise on her right here.
We did. We took pictures of everything. So I've got pictures of you, at the hospital, partially unclothed. Anywhere we can take pictures, I've got pictures. Okay? Well, I'm not interested in prosecuting somebody or sending somebody to jail who hasn't done anything wrong. Okay? I'm not interested in that. But like I said, with the information that I've got and the evidence I've got, it kind of looks bad on your end. So what I'm trying to say is that I talked with I think it was your father, I talked with your aunt, and they're a little bit of a help, but not much. They spoke some things, but they told me that you'd gone to school, and they told me that you were having some issues because you don't drive, about getting back and forth to where you need to go. And things like that, but that's really, I need more than that. Is there anybody that you can find that can write me a statement or anybody that I can talk to that I can follow up with on your side of the story? I know from the position you said, you're probably thinking, well, this guy doesn't want to help me, he just wants to arrest me. That's not the case. And like I said, this is kind of a weird situation because you weren't there at the other end because you were sick, and I couldn't talk to you. And we needed to get you well. Do you remember I told you that before? We need to get you well. That way we can sit and try to figure things out. Is there anybody, a friend, anybody I can talk to?
They knew about him cheating on me. Mm-hmm. I told them that they knew that I was depressed. But
right. Who was it? Anything. I'll talk to anybody.
My best friend.
What's her name?
Crystal.
Do you know how I get in touch with Crystal?
I talked to her mother too. They live right next door to my dad.
Okay. Do you have a phone number that you remember?
What's that name?
Call them and find out what I can get. And that's where we're at. And I understand all of it. And you have to look at everything as a whole. You can't just look at July the 15th. Okay? So we're going to look at everything as a whole. What I do, what's your sister's name?
Stacy. I can't remember her phone number because she changes it.
So she lived in Warner Robins, Macon County, where she lived?
She's living in America.
Americans.
I told my brothers about him cheating.
Did you confronted Brian about that? Did he deny it, or?
Oh, he sat there and told me he didn't want nobody else. He wasn't cheating. I'm like, okay. I'm giving him the opportunity to not tell me because we had made a promise to each other when we first got together that either one of us looked like we were gonna cheat or wanted somebody else, we would let the other one know.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I did talk with Tracy, and of course she denies any involvement or anything. All I can do is ask. You understand? I mean, I don't know if it looks a little fishy to me. Okay, I mean, as far as they were in a pretty close relationship. She says they're just friends. I don't know. And I can't make that judgment. I mean, I just don't know. I don't have any physical evidence to prove that there was a relationship going on, and I don't know that would make a whole lot of difference legally. I just don't know. But when I talked to her, she emphatically denied it. No, I don't know about the other person with Tony. I don't know about that person. And does she work on the base too?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll see what I can find. I did hear a lot about the pool. There's playing pool, and there's some kind of, they go to pool tournaments and things like that. Man, all I can do is tell you that's what I was told. You know, I found the pool sticks and things like that. There was some money in his car for a tournament and stuff, and that they'll get together for some kind of pool tournament. And that's the best I can tell you. And what I can tell you is that, you know, the deputy did come to your house around noon, and that the incident actually took place, best I can tell, was around between 3 and 4, as best I can tell right now. And then, of course, it was around 5 or so when the whole thing was discovered. And luckily, we were able to get there and time to save you. Now, that says a lot to me. Do you know what I'm saying? But you're here for a reason. Okay. And that tells me a lot. I think we've had enough of death that we need to start new here. And so what I'm going to do is, like I said, everybody I talk to, I write everything down. And then I turn it over to the district attorney, and they make their decisions. If they feel like it's a case that's not murder, then they'll go that direction. I can't sit here and promise you anything. First of all, it's just ethically wrong. Second of all, it's pretty much illegal. So I wouldn't sit here and tell you, you know, everything's going to be fine, because I don't know. What I do know is that I can tell the district attorney that she willingly spoke with me, voluntarily, told me her side of the story, and this is what she says. Now, I can tell you, I didn't see any bruising. I didn't see anything like that. But I'm not a doctor, you see.
What was that on my chest then?
I don't know. I remember you talking about it. I don't really remember. I don't know if I got a picture here or not. I may not. But I don't remember exactly. But I'll go back through it and look. It's been a few months. But I'll go back through it.
Told me. Always hurt somebody with that.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying is I'm not a doctor, so I can't sit here and say, well, it didn't happen, because I'm not a doctor and I wasn't there. And I wouldn't sit here and tell you some ridiculous story like that. So what I can do is, this is how I'm going to write it. And I'll put exactly what you told me. And I'll give you an opportunity in a few minutes to write down whatever you want to write down if that's what you choose to do. And it'll all be included in. I don't make that final decision. It's really up. The prosecutor of the state prosecutor's office has a lot of leeway in what they do. Have a lot of discretion in what they do. And it'll be up to his office to decide how he wants to proceed with the case. He may read everything that I do and say, no, I don't think that's the case at all. This is how we're going to handle it. And I just don't know, and I'm not going to speculate. All I can tell you is that I write down everybody tells me and the facts that I can prove.
I just can't understand how he told his mom that I got violent with him.
I don't know. I don't know, and I don't know that Mom told me the truth. You understand me? I don't know. I've been doing this for 16 years, and to be honest with you, man, people lie to me all the time. Sometimes I can catch it, sometimes I can't. But in the end, I have to go with the physical evidence. You must understand that from the physical evidence standpoint, that's why you're here. What I have is a handgun that's been fired. It's in the bed with you. Obviously, he's deceased. There's gunshot residue on you, not on him. All those things put together, I'm kind of stuck. But to be thorough, to be accurate, I need to talk with you, because you don't have anything in your life that would constitute something like this happening. You follow what I'm saying? And so there's got to be a reason behind it. And like I told you when we first came here, I can't, without getting conscious, sit down and talk to you and get your side of it. Because there's a side I don't know, and I didn't know until today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to Crystal. I'm going to talk to you, to your sister, and if any of those people can get me in touch with even more people, I'll talk with them as well. And all that will be included in here. But to explain why you're here, that's why you're here. What I ask is that you understand that you're here for a reason. You survived that day. That's important. Doesn't seem like much, but it's important. And you have to remember that.
Everybody keep telling me I have a purpose in life.
And that's what I'm telling you. And I'm going to tell you, I'm college educated. I'm not much on that hooey-cooey stuff, but I'm going to tell you some things I've seen in 16 years that tells me, okay, you might want to pay attention to this. And this is one of them. And I didn't think he was going to make it, to be honest with you. You were very sick. So take that from somebody who's, I don't know you. You don't know me. So if I'm a complete stranger and I can tell you that, you look pretty normal to me and you look like you got a lot to live for, so maybe.
I remember you told me I got to think about my kids. And I kept your car with me wherever I went.
And you got to remember that, and I'm much for this big book in the sky that tells us, well, today I'm going to have lunch here. I don't buy that. But I will tell you that we're presented with certain choices, I think. And it's how we handle those choices and what choice we make, other doors open. So we may not make the right choices all the time, but at some point you're going to have that opportunity to make the right one and go the right path. So you're here for a reason, and you survive for a reason. So,
I thought my life was over.
well, it's not.
But
It's not.
I had been taking so much from people.
I understand. But I don't know you, right? We just met. And I'm telling you, that's not true. So maybe your family says one thing and it's, well, that's just my family.
Yeah,
Or doctors may say something. And doctors may say something. Well, they're just doctors. I don't know you. And I'm telling you. You understand? That's not the way to go. Let's ride this thing through and see what happens. Oh,
I know. But I shouldn't have done it. And it hurts me every day.
I'm sure it does. And that's not our decision, right? That's not our decision. We don't make that decision. All we can do is explain what happened. And we'll let somebody else make the decision. Somebody else that doesn't know. There's not bias one way or the other. They're just somebody else.
It's part of everything I did. And I always sit back and think if I would have done this different, I would have done that different. Maybe you wouldn't have been at this point. But I go to church. With, while I was up at Central State, I would go to church every Sunday. And they would talk to me. The people on the floor would talk to me. Try to keep me encouraged and stop thinking about myself.
Well, and again, if somebody who doesn't know you, see, I can tell you that, that as much as it seems like we own our bodies, we don't. It's on lease. It's not yours. You don't get to choose.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying? Just like, how do you argue with the person that made the sign? Because you don't like the color of it. You can't, right?
No, you can't.
That's just the way things are. You know? I love animals.
You do.
I do. And I was watching this show the other day.
What happened to my dogs?
We got them. They're fine. I can't remember which family member got them. But we took them out the house because we wanted to make sure we got fed. I think one family show. But I was watching a show the other day. It was about blue whales, the biggest mammal in the world. You know, it's huge. It weighs 10,000 tons from credit over that. And they just eat like you wouldn't believe. But the crazy thing about it is their throats only about that big. And you know why? Because that's just the way it is. It's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Do you need to call anybody? I know let's use the phone stuff. Did you want to write down a statement? You don't have to. It's however you feel. Sometimes people feel better when they write things out. Right. You don't have to if you don't want to, but if you want to, I'll extend that to you. You don't want to? That's fine. If you change your mind, I'll let me know. Do you need to call anybody and let them use the phone to you right back? Anything you think? Well, like I said, I don't make promises because I can't. And what I will tell you is that I'll write down everything just the way you tell me. I'm not here to trick you. I'm not here to do any of those things. That's just not the way we operate. Every case that I do is different. Every person I deal with is different. And it's the first time for me as far as just, it's like it's usually drugs or robbery or something like that. See what I'm saying? But you're the sweetest, quietest person that's ever sat in that seat.
I don't want to hurt nobody. You can call Central State and tell you, they'll tell you I was the most quiet, most noble client they had. They were involved in anybody. It's just me.
I believe that. I believe
Just me.
Well, what we're going to do is I'm going to walk back up front. If you decide you want to call somebody, I'll let the officer know before you guys leave to let you use the phone. And we'll go from there.
So bad.
I know you do, sweetie. I know you do. You're not a bad person. No, I'm not.
Sorry.
You're not.
I heard you. Heard my child. Baby. And then I got up and heard to call her for the first time. She told me, she said, Mom, you shot my dad 2 times. I broke my heart so bad.
Well, it just takes some time. And you need to be around to explain it to her. When she's older, you can understand.
I wanted to be the one to tell her, I didn't want nobody else to do it. But I talked to her on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
She was so sweet. She wasn't mad at me or anything. She was just talking to me and saying, Mommy, I miss you.
Well, you're back up here now. We can get you. And come and see you. Folks, we can see you, okay? It's just going to take a little while to work through this out. Okay?
It's bad because everybody kept telling me. And they finally got me to open up about everything.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like I should have called the police. Did something, but didn't want nobody to know.
Well, and that's what you need to explain. You need to explain that's what you need to tell them. You ask them. Because they're going to ask. And you just need to be honest and tell them. You didn't want anybody to know it's embarrassing.
It's actually very embarrassing, man. You've been in other relationships and you've never been hit or whatnot by any other man, and then you put your trust in one man, thinking that they're different from everybody else, and they do you like that.
Absolutely.
Now, him, I would have never thought that he would hurt me so bad like he did. Just did not care. He didn't care at all, because if he did, he would have took me to the doctor. When I asked him to take me to the doctor, I was losing weight, needed someone to, put me on some meds or something. He just didn't care.
I understand.
That just don't make no sense.
We're going to have a lot of people come and talk to you, okay? And the best advice I can give you is when you talk to them, just be honest with them and tell them everything. Because they're there to help you. I promise they're there to help you. Okay?
But no, my aunt said she came and got you had told me they had a phone and a pocketbook up there.
Right. She got, I think, an iPod maybe? I can't remember. I think you wanted the iPod. Or something like that. She came and got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but they said they wouldn't give them a phone.
Right, I think we hung on, and I don't remember why now. I don't think they let you, I think the hospital wouldn't let you have it or something, but I'll get that stuff. You want to get it back here now?
Yeah, either tonight or today.
Okay, I'll get those things back. Is there any text messages or anything on there, or friends or anybody you want me to look at? But maybe you sent them a text message, I can get it printed off, where you had talked about what was going on. I mean, obviously on the 15th, there was nothing on there, I'm sure, but is there anything in the past? I mean, I haven't looked through it, so I can't.
I can't remember.
Okay.
But I know I talked to a lot of people.
Right.
And it had got to the point, guys would want to talk to me and whatnot. And I was flirting with them on Facebook and on...
Well, of course.
Because
Everybody wants to feel good. Everybody wants to feel pretty. And I know all that.
they would give me the attention that I wanted.
That you wanted him to give you. I understand completely. Well, the best thing I can tell you is you look 100% better on my site in the hospital.
You serious? My hair is a mess.
100. Your eyes are clear. You got color back to you. You look a lot better, much healthier. So let's keep it that way, okay?
I'm going to do it for my kids.
You need to.
I'm going to do it for them.
Need to.
They miss me.
My child's 17, and he's irritating as can be. But I love him to death.
Yeah, child is 17.
17, about to go to college. I'm driving a car, driving me nuts. I call
And them kids for you. So.
Yeah, he's at school now, I think, I hope. Should be. Getting ready to come home from school, but it's a hard thing to do, but they're very important. And they don't care, they need you, that's all they need. That's all they care.
Yeah.
That's all I care about you. Okay? Well, let me put these on and walk you up front, and I'll let the officer want you to make any call you need to make or anything like that. All right. Well, all right, you ready?
Thank you.
Yes. If you have any questions or any of your family has any questions or anything like that, have them call me and I will explain everything to them. They know pretty much everything, but I'll explain everything else to them as well. And I'll get that stuff back.
At trial, Ebony Smith was convicted of malice murder and felony murder, as well as aggravated assault, aggravated battery, and 3 counts of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. She was sentenced to life in prison with parole.